Good morning with Mharia here in Scotland. As you can see, it's not such a bright day today, but I just wanted to get out nonetheless and show you some of this St John's wort, Latin name Hypericum perforatum. As you can see, there's quite a lot of it here in the garden. I just planted a small bit and it's just taken over, which is quite lovely because I use it a lot. It grows underground and it obviously seeds as well, but I did transplant some around the garden, so it can be invasive. It's a lovely one to use, and I'll try and show you over here. So you can see these 5 little petals, and it's quite hard to see, but there's little black dots within there, and the leaves, believe it or not, have tiny little glands. And see if it works now. When you get some, oops, it's blown away, and you squeeze it, it should turn red. Yeah, there. Oops, sorry. It should turn red, and that means it's ready. That's where all the lovely medicine is. So St John's wort is such an interesting one, and it's quite prehistoric in its uses. It goes back a long way, and it was used for lots of different things, and modern sort of herbalists do use it more as what people would say is an antidepressant. Well, that's quite a loaded one, but I'll get back to its other uses. It's a powerful wound healer. That's another way it's used. So taking it back, it was used for many issues. So it was used to support sort of your bladder, sort of kidneys. So it was used to help when children bedwetted, because of fear. You know, when there's bedwetting going on, it can happen for many different reasons. It is connected to the kidneys, which is the emotion of fear. And it was treated as well, it was given to children when they had insomnia because they were afraid. So that's back to the kidney. So a lot of fear-based issues. It was used as well with people who, like bladder issues, that peed a lot due to many reasons for peeing, overactive bladder, but it can happen when there's a lot of stress, a lot of emotions going on. The bladder could just pee, you can just pee all the time. So there are lots of different reasons for peeing, but it was used back then for that. It was used to treat respiratory issues as well, like asthma, bronchitis. There was different uses for it. It was used as well to treat digestive issues, and it was used for women. It was a tonic for women, for the reproductive system. It helped balance out the menstrual cycle, so if there was like a lot of heavy bleeding. It was used for sort of pain, nerve pain, a lot of nerve pain, sciatica, other issues connected to that pain that was along the nerve that was really sharp, hot. It was used for that. It still is used for that. For menopausal symptoms, it is used for that sort of insomnia due to sort of irritability, too much heat. So a lot of symptoms that are related to in menopause time can be a time of, there's just a lot of anxiety. And I think the reason, doing the research, that it does help so much with the menopausal symptoms is the liver. It's actually a really renowned liver tonic, a liver remedy. So it's used to just help the liver process toxins, medications out of the body. So much so that it's one that if you were on certain medications that you couldn't and wouldn't take St John's wort, because it would impact either the medication getting flushed out, so it's not having an impact, or it would it would make it work too much. So that's why you would consult a practitioner. So yeah, so when there's a lot of like liver stagnation, that can result in a lot of irritability. It can cause a lot of emotional upsets. So just helping the liver to just help clear it is a good way to just help with any sort of emotional issues. And it was used, so say with depression, back to the depression, there are many factors that can cause depression. We're a spiritual being, mind, body and soul. So, but the physical part, so if there's like a lot of stagnation going on in the liver, that can cause a depression as well. And it can cause an irritability form of depression, where it's not like you're just low and no energy, it's like you're low and just angry. Another form of depression that can take place within the body is in the digestive area, your gut. So if your microbiome isn't healthy and you've got a lot of bad bacteria, the good bacteria isn't there, then that's just going to, not make you feel good. Or if there's intolerances to foods, particularly sugar, as well, or any other intolerances, dairy, wheat, that can make a person feel quite depressed as well. So sorting out that gut can really be very healing. So I think this is why used prehistorically for these issues. Holistically, obviously depression as well. There's types of depression where there's that seasonal winter depression where people just feel really low because they don't have that sunshine. So I think with really serious, complicated depressions, it's, that's a different league. But your general sort of low mood, that could be stuff going on within the body, that you're needing to work on the diet aspect. There could be things, it's quite good for dream work as well, so that can help you process things that have happened in your life that maybe you've put away somewhere in your filing system, because the body's amazing at having to get on with life. It can dissociate, it can just shut down, but everything lives in your body, your cells. So there could be unprocessed things that when you take St John's wort as a tea, you're dreaming, you're processing things, and maybe you have a different understanding. Dreams feature in different ways, so what you dream, it won't, as you've dreamed yourself, dreams are strange, the imagery, where it just takes a little bit of working out what they mean. But for the wound care, this is such a powerful one. It's used to treat any sort of trauma to the skin. It's used just your basic, even like bruises, your cuts, your sprains, stretch marks for women, but scar tissue, just any trauma that's happened to the skin, having an ointment, making an ointment is very healing. So the St John's wort is known as a cure-all. It has many areas that it touches, that it just heals. So what they do find is a contraindication. They always have to mention these things, being careful with sort of what medications that you're on, but also it can make some people photosensitive, and that means when you're taking the St John's wort that your skin becomes more sensitive to the sun and burns more easily. But here's the contraindication, like not the contraindication, the I can't remember the word and I'll not think about it. So basically it can cause a photosensitivity, but it's actually very good for burns used externally. So putting it on your skin can work as a mild form of sunscreen, where it can protect your skin. And I think it's because of those inflammation properties that it just soothes the skin. So on one hand, some people can take this and be very sensitive, so they're burning. So and it also has the other edge where it's protective. So what they do find is in chemistry, they like to isolate chemical compounds or constituents in a plant. So there is a compound in there that is used for its properties, and that seems to be the culprit, that in large doses internally, which causes that sensitivity. However, taken the plant in its whole form, because it has everything in there. There's so many chemicals in there that counteract and just make it work powerful. But if you isolate something, it can actually have a devastating impact on your system. But working with the whole plant is a different kettle of fish. The leaves are used as well in tea, but it's more so the buds. So when you are foraging or collecting some, you don't want them all when they're in flower. There's like a nice sort of point. Once it goes too far, see, like that one is just a few days old and it looks quite dry. But what you're wanting to do is take, a bunch, the tops, you're wanting a lot of the buds as well, just as they're starting to open. So it can go past its sell-by date, but now is a good time to use it. And with this one, the St. John's wort, you can actually just infuse it straight into an oil, and you can fresh tincture it. It does still work dry, but getting it fresh and doing a fresh oil infusion and doing it in the solar method, infusing it in the oil for 2 to 4 weeks, and then using the oil and massage on the skin or turning it into a lovely healing salve. You can just come out and take bits for cups of tea. I've noticed the last couple of nights I was drawn to using it, and I've had like a really quite restful sleep in some ways. So I would use some of this, and I had some lemon balm, and what else did I have? And some chamomile. And within sort of 20 minutes after that, I was just like feeling really, it's bedtime. And it was almost like I was getting this more deeper sleep. So I've been trying this for a few nights just because I've felt drawn to using it. But they do call it sunshine in a bottle. It captures the sun and stores it in its lovely flowers. And then when we consume this, we are taking that sun into us. And it is one that touches our spirit. So there's all these psycho-spiritual protections that it gives us as well. So it is meant to protect you from the jealousy, the evil eye. Esoteric wise, it's just like the evil spirits, the evil. So if people have this belief that there's, that everything's energy, isn't it? So it's like if you're being horrible in your mind about somebody, or there's jealousy, that's an energy. So some people can be really sensitive to that. It's not nice, jealousy. It's horrible to be jealous. It's just not a nice energy. But in life, it is nice having these little protective factors where we feel that we are being protected and looked after, and that because we are spiritual by nature, and there are forces, energies out there. And it is really, thinking about this now, I remember it's used if there's like that sensitivity in the gut, or that sensitivity within a person for whatever reason, and they've lost touch with their instincts. So they're that sensitive where they're feeling everything, and almost like not grounded within themselves, so they don't know what is true to be scared of, or is this person safe, or is, how it's like we have instincts, and we get the sense where sometimes in life, if there's, for whatever reason, a person can be shut off from that instinct. And this is quite a nice one that is used to help sort of calm that nervous system, settle the digestion, like the parasympathetic, the sympathetic nervous system, and just rebalance everything. And it's just that you're getting this sense of who you are, you know, the parts of yourself, but that part of yourself that isn't the self, that isn't your conditions, that isn't your personality, it's just that inner being. So once you have a sense of that and you're able to understand that there's other that that all these parts of us aren't truly who we are, but they're part of us. We're not disconnected, that Mharia mum knows what Mharia wife spoke about, that Mharia friend spoke about, you know, that I'm all connected, I can remember everything, I'm there, but I also know that there's this being within me that isn't called Mharia, that isn't a mum, that isn't a friend, that isn't my hobbies, that isn't, you know, that isn't who I am, but there's this other part of me that is connected just as you are, that is more than, you know, our materialistic things, our, you know, the story that we have about ourselves. We're more than that. And I think that lovely St. John's wort and any sort of plants just allows us to become more connected back into that being part, that part that we're all connected, that everything is connected, and who we've ever met in our life or loved in our life, it's, you know, that connection, it's always there in some aspect. It's always connected back to that source. It's a subject that one could go on and talk about and go off in many threads, what I feel I'm doing now. So trying to like reel this back in. The lovely St. John's wort is sunshine in a bottle, and it, because of its colour, it's associated with the solar plexus, and that is where that chakra, and that is about our confidence, our self-esteem, our creativity, how we express ourselves in the world. So it's good for strengthening that stomach area, strengthening, so back to feeling grounded and back to feeling just settled. And I don't even know, it's like not even in sort of emotions, it's out of anything. So you're not up, you're not down, you've got this stableness, the seesaw, the balance, and then moving up to the heart, just that opening, that lightness, that expansion, that power, that love, that, you know, so it all has an impact on our expression and our connection. And then when we are in this alignment, we are just how we're meant to be, a powerful being having this experience in this human life. And being part of human is looking after our body, looking after our mind, looking after our emotions. And that's why it's so important, our lifestyle, you know, who we have connection with. Is that connection healthy? Is that connection nourishing? Is it growth promoting? The foods that we eat, is it nourishing? Is it growth promoting? The things that we watch, if we watch anything in TV, the things that we read, the music we listen to, everything impacts us. Do we get out in nature? Do we turn off our phones? Do we just walk and listen to nature, the sounds, feeling the wind in the face, the spits of rain, hearing the birds, the wind, and just not thinking, not feeling, not in that downward, depressed, anxiety, stress, but just actually being. So all that from St John's wort. Who wouldn't want some St John's wort? And this has turned out to be quite a long video. And I've been a bit all over the place there because it's just touching so many parts of us. But St John's wort, definitely a powerful liver remedy and for our lifting our spirits and the wound. So